We are live. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the VR Link. How are you doing? My name is GC from Gamertag VR, and this is your weekly Sunday VR chat show that gives you and us the chance to discuss some of the latest goings on in virtual reality. Some of the game releases as well through the week. Just to let you know as well, if you can't watch this, you can listen again on Spotify and Anchor as a podcast. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the amazing patrons and channel members. Their names are listed below. Thank you ever so much. We've got people now donating. Basically, it's $1 a month or something, so that's really cool. Thank you. We've also got the community Discord. Please feel free to jump into there if you want to meet other VR enthusiasts. All those links are in this video description. And if you've got any ideas or questions, please let us know in that Discord. There is a section called the VR Link, and we will act accordingly. So allow me to introduce Sal Ketchup from Sal's Ketchup VR.
Hello.
Nat from 7 Degrees of Gaming.
Hi guys.
And the ageless wonder, Lincoln Clay from Lincoln Clay 670.
Sir, the godfather of VR, the most irresistible man ever to play Arizona Sunshine on the Oculus Quest.
Oh, it evolves. I didn't know it was an evolving.
It does evolve.
I didn't know that.
It changes week to week. Haven't you noticed this?
Well,
and thank you, Oculus Quest fan, for the
What I'm trying to do is
$1.99.
perfect. What I'm trying to do is perfect perfection.
Hello, guys.
Perfection, I love it. Yeah. You're pulling down onto the perfection, and that's while I'm messing around with Honosori's OCD because I've moved.
Oh, right, yeah.
There we go.
How's it going? Thank you ever so much for the donation. Who have we got who's joined us today? We got Oculus Quest Fun. Thank you, dude. Hello, DJ. Oh, yeah, nice. Boneworks, as far as I know, isn't coming to the Quest, but there is a game in the Boneworks universe. What's it? I can't remember what it's called.
They haven't given it a name. It's just untitled Boneworks game for Quest.
Yeah. Superb, which I'm sure is going to be absolutely brilliant. Director Fury, Robert Dodge, Davo1000. How are you? German Rifter, Peter C. How you doing, man? You alright? Thanks for joining. And Cap Gamer, DTDV Mick, Chatty, Hono, TGK2. Nice, guys. Thank you ever so much for joining us.
Somebody called the Bearded One. I thought I was the Bearded One.
Jeff
I
Ray.
have to shave it now.
The bearded one.
Well, you could go have a weave added to your beard.
No, that would take work, man.
That's it. Hello, Blam. How's it going? You alright, guys? Thank you for joining us, Nocturnal Wolf. Hello, BMF. Hello, mate. You got cold yogurt. Mike Kelly. Nice. The bearded one has put PSVR too many wires. So, yeah, so, okay, so just to jump in, right? Hello, Taz. One of today's topics is something we was going to do pre-recorded in the week, but then Zoom, the new video service that was saving me from Skype issues of everyone's heads going bigger and smaller, decided to do an update, and then it prevented me from using it, and it was an absolute nightmare. But we've basically all had to roll back our versions to get this to work. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was one of the questions that I get quite a lot, and I'm sure these guys do as well, because obviously coming up to the holiday season, there are new people out there who either want to get a PlayStation VR or an Oculus Quest, and they're searching VR and they're coming across channels like mine, like these guys, and they want to know what to buy. So this conversation is about everyone, really. Obviously, feel free to respectfully give your thoughts on what system you would recommend in the chat. Obviously, we'll go through what we played and all that, but I wanted to get this sort of out, straight out the gate. Get on with this chat. So, because for me, it's weird. It's been a strange one for me, this journey, because obviously PlayStation VR was the beginning for most of us, and things for me have changed. And I in my head, I'm pretty sure what I know I would now recommend, but I didn't want to do that on my own. I wanted to hear what everyone else thinks, what these guys in particular think, and maybe there's a video now that someone could say, "Oh, what is the reason behind you saying I should buy a PlayStation VR or an Oculus Quest?" So, yeah, I mean, South, it looks like you want to say something.
Well, I'm curious as to what your advice would be and how it would line up, actually, because I'm still very much of the mind of, if you've got a PS4 but don't have a PC and you want to get into VR as a thing, and you do generally do more console games,
but that's a lot of factors you put there already in your like console games stuff like. I'm literally just virtuality. Just I know what you're saying, like
Yeah.
because the way it was coming across some of my chat was half had a PS4 already and half didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to say what you're going to say, and you're going to say the same thing. I'm sure. Like
Yeah.
if you've
If
got
you've got the PlayStation, then PSVR is the cheapest way for you to get a route forwards. First of all, get your foot in the door, and know what's what.
but to say so, like I'm thinking
And it's
right.
got good
The,
content.
the people who it has got excellent content, but the people I'm talking to, they're not saying to me about money, a budget. They're like, I've got money for
No.
both. I've got 400 quid. I can get either, yeah. Like I can get either, but I want one or the other. What do you think I should
Yeah.
get? And the way things have been going for me a bit lately, I've been sort of thinking to myself, I might start saying the Quest. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of reasons at the moment for me. The excellent link cable, which I know is another factor, but it's another doorway, PCVR.
Yeah.
I think the controls lately have been more superior in certain games.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's not to say that PSVR 2 isn't going to be amazing. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic, and you will be able to use the PSVR on that console. But I do wonder what the tracking system is going to be next. So
Yeah, I think it's a case of if somebody comes up to me and says, right, I've got 400 quid, plus maybe a little bit for games. So let's say 500 quid. What do I get? I've already got I've already got a PlayStation. What do I get? Do I get a Quest and £100 for some games?
yeah.
Or do I get a PSVR and get a lot more games because the PSVR side is a lot cheaper?
And the sales on PSVR have been fantastic. Would you reckon that?
It's a really hard question to answer
It's really tough.
because there are variables.
Yeah.
Does a person have a PS4? Don't they have a PS4? So if
Let's say they don't.
if they didn't have a PS4,
Yeah.
there's a
Quest.
reason why there's a reason why they haven't got a PS4 by now, because it's 6 years now.
Yeah.
The library of games on the PS4 is phenomenal. It's some of the best games this generation that have come out on it. So there must have been a reason why you haven't purchased a PS4 by now. So if you're sort of like saying, okay, I haven't got a PS4, I'm thinking about buying a PS4 and PSVR, or I'm thinking about buying a Quest. The answer really, in my mind, is easy. Get a Quest. Don't get a PS4. Don't get a PS4 and don't get a PSVR. Get a Quest. If you've got, for the very simple reason, there must have been a reason you didn't get PS4. And yes, PSVR has some of the best VR games on the marketplace, but the Quest is such a simple setup procedure. And if you take the PC side out of it as well, that's nice to have. And obviously, I've brought a PC to take advantage of that. But the Quest is the simplest to set up. It's easy to go and easy to use. There's nothing easier.
I just want to say, it actually weighs me down having this conversation. It's hard because I love them both, and in an ideal world, you would experience both. But people are asking this question. They are saying, I'm new to VR, and I'm talking like, do I go PlayStation VR, which means PlayStation 4, PlayStation Pro, and a PSVR, or do I get the Oculus Quest? So, what about you, Lincoln?
Super tough question.
It's really hard, isn't it? Because you got so many good feelings for PlayStation.
Yeah, I slept on this many a nights. And every time I go to bed and I say, okay, I'll recommend a Quest for someone, I would wake up the next morning and be like, what if they were to get a PSVR, this would help. And then the next morning I would wake up and be like, if they get a Quest and they could go this route. It is very, very tough. But I think I've come up with the final decision that if money's not an issue, I would probably recommend the Quest, because if you get the PlayStation VR, which would be great, you are confined to their ecosystem. You are confined to what they have to offer, which they do have a lot of games there. But the PlayStation VR is lacking in some areas. They are lacking in racing games. They are lacking in first-person shooter games. They are lacking in multiplayer games. But the thing that made my decision final.
I don't know about the multiplayer games. Some of the best communities I know are on PlayStation.
I was about to say, there's a lot of things South has just brought up there. You could also level at the Quest. We're not, as I say, we got to take the PC side out of it.
Yeah.
Got to take Quest
Take the link out of it. Yeah, take the link out of it.
You've got to take
the link out of it.
Yeah, take the link out of it.
Okay, see, that was going to be a huge part of my answer there.
See, even taking the link out of it, it still puts me on a tipping point. You know,
yeah, I mean, if you've got a PS4, then I think it's again, I'd say I'd sway to PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
For the simple reason, if you're a PS4 owner, the likelihood is you're going to get a PS5.
But I still think that at the moment, like, so for example, and I hope everyone knows that this channel is just our opinions, but there's no BS here as far as I'm concerned. I'll just say how I feel. I know people who don't use their PSVRs because they've got Quests. That says something to me. Like, that says to me, like, the people I know who actually got into VR, like myself, and they're like, I mean, I still play my PlayStation VR, but I'm on about people who, they're not content providers or influencers. They're just like sitting at home. Should I watch a film? Shall I play a bit of VR? And I'll tell you what, they're not grabbing the PlayStation now because, I think what you said earlier, the setup process, the ease of use. When people are going around their houses, they're giving them the Quest to use on the PlayStation VR, which surely Oculus would know that was part of the idea of this. The mobile thing is just like, you can share it so easily.
Yeah, you just go, have a go.
Yeah. If you take the Quest Link part out of it, then I would probably lean towards recommending the PlayStation VR because, you know,
this is great. This is what it's all about. This is what this is all about.
That is such a tough thing. Because yes, the Quest is going to give you the advantage of being able to take it where to go. But wow.
I still think, right, the thing is, right, when it goes to games, yeah, I'm loving the Quest games, but the Quest in a way seems to me very like sometimes very arcadey. Do you know what I mean? You play it for a couple of hours or an hour, blah, blah, blah. But like PlayStation has given me my longest play sessions easily. Blood and Truth, Astro Bot, you know, Resident Evil. Yeah. Like, and that's where I'm starting to look at it a bit differently of like, hold on, I'm on about ease. I'm on about use. I'm on about... to be fair, I think the controls are a massive issue for me. Like, the more I use virtuality, and I jumped into, I said to Salsa earlier, Steam, the Lab, I think it is, or the Labs, whatever it's called, the free thing. It is like, it gets you sort of pre-hyped a bit more for Boneworks in a way, doing stuff in there. And I know I haven't got the knuckles, but I've been reassured that one of the guys who's doing Boneworks uses the touch controllers all the time. So it's going to feel good when you're using the touch controllers.
You're already stepping on a big can of worms.
So like...
Talking about Boneworks.
At the end of the day...
And upcoming games as well.
What it will always come down to is games. So you got to look at the games that you want to play.
What about the games coming as well, though? Like future games, like that's another issue. People are talking about what games are coming to PlayStation VR, and I'm like, I sit down, and that's not to say games don't come out suddenly. They do. We know that PlayStation games suddenly just appear, but the big games tend not to. They tend to have a bit of hype. You tend to know about them. Iron Man, Sniper Elite. I'm sort of getting stuck on what is coming.
I still think I think PlayStation VR is a much, much harder sell if you don't have a PS4. Yeah. I honestly...
I agree.
I think if you don't have a PS4, I think Sal's was saying about the ecosystem that you're in. When you buy a PlayStation, you do buy into that ecosystem.
Well, you got to pay for it as well. You're paying to be part of that because you can't use multiplayer games without paying a monthly price.
Exactly. So there's a lot of benefits to the Quest. So I think it's actually a less hard question if you don't have a PS4. I think the Quest just stands out quite considerably.
Yeah.
Compared to it. I think if you have a PS4, it's a much harder question. and I don't envy if you can't have both. If you're just like I haven't got the time, and to be honest, that is the biggest issue. If you do have two, I mean, I've bought a load of PC games, and now I'm a case of, well, I got a backlog of PS4 games, I got a backlog of PS4 games, PSVR games, got a backlog of Quest games, got a backlog of Switch games, got a backlog of PC games now. So it's just like, well, I haven't actually got enough time to play all these games. So I've actually got more games than I can actually play.
Yeah,
which is a nice thing to have. That is, it's not a case of, well, what the hell do I play now? Although admittedly there is still times where it's just like, well, okay, which headset do I go? But I do think if you've got a PS4, it's a much harder question. Which one do you go? Because the Quest is going to be.
Is that because of what you're getting for your money? Yeah, because of the bundles like crazy, aren't they, on PlayStation?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. The controls are a big issue, but then I would also say comfort is a big issue. Because the PlayStation VR headset is much more comfortable to wear, especially in an extended play session, and I can vouch for that, especially now with the using the link, than the Oculus Quest is. The Quest, the Quest never really bothered me in terms of its comfort because the battery died after like an hour 15, hour and a half. You got the thing come up, so I say, and your battery's on the way out, and it's just like that was a nice sort of like, oh well, actually, it's most probably time to have a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Put it down, charge it up. But like I was playing. We'll get onto the games I was playing, but I was playing a game and I played it for quite a while, and after about 2 hours, I'm like, oh man, my
your cheekbones,
my cheekbones are really hurting.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I needed to take a break because the battery is about to die out. It was just like, you know what, I actually do need to take a break because I just need a little bit of relief to get away from that. So it's one of the reasons I kind of said that, when a lot of people were asking, when the link was announced, that's going to be the death of the Oculus Rift S, and it's just like, no, because comfort is going to be a massive factor. So it's a really cool feature to have. But yeah, it's a much harder question to ask. I think Sony could have actually helped them, helped themselves to make it an easier question to sort of say, I'm going to recommend PlayStation VR if they'd have changed the controllers a year ago.
I don't understand why we still got them, and I say it every time.
The PlayStation part of it that you just mentioned, that 7 Degrees, you made that question even harder when you factor in whether or not they have a PS4. If you said if they don't have a PS4, I think that makes the question even harder because, again, the reason why I said I would probably lean towards recommending the PSVR for someone is because of the PS4 factor. Because you'll have the benefit of playing flat screen games too. Because somebody who's looking to jump into VR for the first time probably still likes to play flat screen games as well.
And some of the best games as well. Like Nat said, some of the best games are on PlayStation. There's no two ways about it. They're winning the console war.
That's the question, though. I mean, honestly, when you're 6 years into a life cycle of a console, there has to be a reason why you haven't invested in that console.
Exactly.
Like I own an Xbox One S, I own a Switch, and I own a PS4. And the reason I own all three consoles is they all offer me something in terms of games that I want to play. That's why I own them. Yeah. Now, when the next Xbox comes out, I won't buy it initially. I will buy the PS5. When that comes out, that will be a day one purchase. Because the ecosystem is there. The Xbox will not be a day one purchase for me. It will be a purchase later down the line.
I don't see myself getting that console at all. But Salsa, I think something else to consider is if someone comes into VR for the first time, 7 Degrees makes a good point that if somebody hasn't picked up a PS4 by now,
no, they're not going to. It's not their interest.
But maybe VR is the interest.
But at the same time, that doesn't mean that they're ready to go dive in head first in the VR because
but they would still then be outlaying the same amount of money between having to get a Quest,
yes, exactly,
or a PSVR and a PlayStation
Good point.
And all, that whole thing. That's why I said about the money in the first place,
Right.
and limited that budget down, because then you know where you're starting from. You're starting from that square point of, do they have a PlayStation? What's their budget? If they've got the PlayStation, and like I said, they've only got like 400 quid, so they can either have a Quest and a couple of games, a few games, or they get a PSVR and already have that PlayStation, then they can get a lot more games. So I would be tempted to say to them, if you've got a PlayStation, still go for the PSVR route, because then you can get more games.
What was you going to say?
Unless there is something very compelling apart from that.
Yeah, but it's the ecosystem, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't be saying to somebody, you got 500 quid, you haven't got a PlayStation, go get a PlayStation and a PSVR. I'd be saying, get the Quest, no question about it.
Also, that the PSVR will be working with the PS5. But like I say, that's because you've invested. And again, like I say, that's why I said, if they haven't got a PS4 now, it wouldn't even be too much of a thing. It would be okay. And they're going, oh, we want to get into VR. I'd go Quest.
The other thing I want to add,
you don't need anything.
Go on, Lincoln. Sorry, go on.
No. Go ahead, finish up. 7 Degrees.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's just it's so simple with the VR side on the Quest. You haven't got a PS4. You don't want to buy. You don't want to buy anything else. You haven't got to get a PC. Which is another matter, because then suddenly, if you get PC, well, as GT has pointed out in the past, well, do you actually bypass the Quest and go with a Rift and a PC? Which I know I had somebody on my chat actually turn around and say, well, I decided that I did want to go PC VR, and I actually invested in a Rift at the same time. So the beauty of the Quest is its self-contained nature. And like I said, as I pointed out before, if you haven't gone into the PS4 ecosystem now, there has to be a reason for it, that you don't want to get a console, or you don't like Sony. I know there's, I've got people at work that just like Sony, it look like they stepped in, poop. So if you already invested in that ecosystem, PS4, you've already been told by Sony that the PSVR is going to work on PS5. The likelihood is, if you've got a PS4, you're most probably going to go and get a PS5. Yeah. So there's always that investment that you've already got, that that your PSVR headset that you're going to buy, that you can play on the PS4 or PS4 Pro now, is going to work on the PS5. Your games are going to transfer over. Also, and again, I say you got to look at the games, and you can point out that I've said it, like Super Hot is so much clearer, so much easier to play on the Quest than it is on PlayStation VR. Beat Saber actually, I think, plays. Now, I've only played the demo on the Quest, but I think Beat Saber plays better on PSVR than it does on the Quest. I think actually the move controllers actually are a boon for that particular test, for that particular game. But then you got Resident Evil 7. Still the top-rated game for PlayStation VR almost 3 years after it came out. You want to play No Man's Sky? You ain't playing that on the Quest, but you can play it on PlayStation VR. You want to play Blood and Truth? You can play that on PlayStation VR. You can Iron Man? You want to play that? You can play that on the thing. Where Lincoln was saying, I'm into first-person shooters. Well, get an AIM controller, which is most probably one of the best controllers ever for VR.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. You can enjoy yourself in Farpoint, which is still a phenomenal game.
I just want to add, though, I still think Oculus Quest offers you a deeper VR experience in some ways, because of the freedom of movement.
Oh, yeah.
Room scale blew my mind. Like, that was amazing. T for God, jaw-dropping stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a graphical sense. I mean that the tech,
well, it's the same,
what was happening.
This week you've got, Arizona Sunshine as an example. That comparable, just having the controllers works really well, but I found it better on the Quest. I had a better time on the Quest than I did on the PlayStation.
What about you, Lincoln? We haven't spoken about Arizona.
I agree with also on the Arizona Sunshine. It's much easier on
better
the Quest.
port.
Just pick up, throw that headset on, and just start shooting.
That's the thing. That's
and then the thing about my PSVR is that wire is coiled all the crap. Every time I pull that headset off, I have to step on it and try to uncoil that wire.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
It bothers me because because it's coiled up so much that if I move around, it's going to yank at the processor box.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't have that same problem. I don't have that problem. But at the end of the day, I think it is a case of literally, I still pin it on whether somebody owns a PS4 or not.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, I like that answer. I mean, what I'm trying to point out is there's so many factors. There's also so many factors. I think, like when we start talking about multiplayer,
a definitive answer.
it's really hard, isn't it?
No,
But
I think we'd be here arguing for 17 hours
I think
straight.
the only thing for me that gives me a bit more of a definitive answer is future-proof. Or not future-proof, but future gaming. I think the Quest now is entering a life cycle, as PSVR seems to be coming towards an end of a life cycle.
It's the start of a life cycle because you've got other news this week that comes out along the lines of the Qualcomm Snapdragon XL2 as a processor, and what the life cycle of the Quest is going to be in terms of refreshes to when it gets a power refresh. I know JD was in the chat there was saying earlier about, hang on a second, but you've already got developers when they're developing for Quest going, oh my God, we're having so many optimization.
I bet until they make the money though. I bet until they get them, because people are buying Quests and games on there. Like, developers want to get their games on there. They do. They want to get their games on there at the moment.
Yeah, it's flying off the shelves. It's like sold out still.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten to the part yet where if PSVR 2 is wireless.
Yeah,
that could...
it's got to be in it. I'm assuming it would have to be.
You know,
I want it to be. I don't think it will be, but I'd like it to be. That's what I mean.
I don't think PSVR 2 is going to be wireless.
No, it'd be too much money.
I think it'll have inside-out tracking 100%, but I don't think it will be wireless because Sony are not stupid. They know keeping the price down.
Yeah, we're too many years away from PSVR 2 at the moment. Honestly, we're at least 2 years away.
So I mean, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in that time to PlayStation VR? I mean, is it, you know, that's what sort of worries me.
That's where you've got the whole fidelity of stuff that's coming up, and so much more that is to do with PS5 and its influence on PSVR in terms of what games can be played, in what terms of what graphics are available. If they actually go and do the thing of, we're not bringing out PSVR 2 yet, but the controllers are working. Here you go.
They'd have to be light-based. They'd have to be light-based tracking, though, wouldn't they? To work with that headset.
We don't know. Don't know.
Well, how would the headset see him?
You know.
I thought it'd all
you could have magnetic based, and the magnetic tracker base is inside the PS5 that we didn't know about.
Yeah, but you're talking about a controller that can work with the current PSVR setup, so it'd have to have some sort of light system.
Yeah.
Well, no. The light. You have to remember that controllers could be separate from a different thing, because they are a standalone object in themselves. If you're using a machine that is capable of tracking something, you don't automatically have to think this device must be like that. I mean,
I guess no, because the PSVR doesn't see the controllers, does it? The camera
no, but it sees a light. Because that's the same with the aim controller.
The PSVR doesn't see anything. The PlayStation sees it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about he's right. Yeah, he's right. The PSVR doesn't have anything to search for the moves.
It doesn't have anything to search for. The PSVR headset doesn't search for anything. It's the PlayStation that searches for stuff.
Yeah, the camera's looking for stuff. Why don't we try and find some...
way out here, and we're going to be on this subject.
Why don't we try and find some comments
for a million years
that resonate with whatever you're trying to get at? Do you know what I mean? In the chat, because people have been... really getting involved.
I've noticed the chat has just been going crazy. It's just...
it's quite hard to keep up. Yeah, I actually can't scroll back far enough. BMF, I think the most successful form of VR Beginners can jump into the Quest partially because even though I like PSVR, the controllers and cable management can lead to a somewhat cumbersome view of VR. You know, like as I was saying, my uncle, he's had both. He actually transitioned. He had the PlayStation VR, he got the Quest, and I think he then sold his PlayStation VR because he was like, "Damn, this is easy." Flop. You know what I mean? He's taking it to work and stuff. So, and he loves it. Like, he really loves the Quest for that because of what it is.
Foster pulls up an interesting thing which goes back to his question that's at the beginning, which was, what do we think about the DualShock 5 not having a light bar? So, the DualShock 5 on PS5 has no light bar. So, how would all the different games for that work, where they track the DS controller?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going. Have they got another method for tracking a DS5?
How many games
that doesn't rely on the camera?
How many games default to, like, and bear in mind, like, we've got head tracking a lot of the time, like Resident Evil. We're aiming with our faces in PSVR sometimes. The controller's got nothing to do with it. Like, how many games do you use the controller like that? Because the only games I know of are aim controller games.
Astrobot uses the light bar in the DualShock 4.
Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it? You have to use it to actually do some of the levels.
Static uses
a lot of the levels, actually. It makes excellent use of it.
Moss uses it.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Maybe you can still use. Maybe you can still use it to do a DualShock 4.
I was about to say, there's nothing to say. We haven't been told by Sony that you can't use a DualShock 4 with the PS5.
They know backwards compatibility is a massive issue these days. People want that. They don't want you to say goodbye to what you've had.
Yeah, but this is the problem with speculation. Like I said, this is a whole subject. We could be here for 17 or 18 odd hours or however long you like, speculating on speculations.
I mean, I've seen in the chat a lot of people sort of saying, "Oh, PSVR is dead. Quest is future." It's like, no, PSVR is far from dead.
I don't think it's dead.
Not only is it not dead, one of the things that I wanted to say about when GT was asking what do we think is going to happen over the next couple of years until we get the next headset. What I would like to see happen is I would like to see the PSVR go down to a permanent price of $200. I think that would be massive. We are near the end of the generation.
It's already like that. It's already like hit that sort of price level here.
It starts at $300, and if you get a bundle with the Move controllers, it's $350.
I just want to add, the reason we're having this conversation is to prove it's not dead. That's the whole reason. Otherwise, we'd be all be going, what's the best games on the Quest? Wouldn't be talking about PlayStation VR.
It seems like
people are conflicted for a good reason.
Oh yeah.
It seems like a lot of people picked up a PSVR for Black Friday.
A few people have
contacted.
Yeah, but it's most of the people there. Again, they've already got a PlayStation, so they're like, okay, well, I'll get this now.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You look. I think somebody in the chat said, "Oh, let's talk about PSVR next year when it's only still got 5 games that you talk about." No, I just quickly mentioned 5 games off the top of my head. PSVR has a massive library. And the thing is,
huge.
Not everybody. So somebody like myself, and somebody like JD, and somebody like UGT, and somebody like you, Telsa, where we look at the library of and even Lincoln, I'm sure, we look at the library of PSVR games that we've got, and we'll look at it and say we've got, like my thing is well over 100 games because I have a special folder on my PS4 for all my VR games.
Yeah, same as.
And it gets to 99 plus. It won't actually go beyond that number, so I couldn't actually tell you how many files are in there. All I know is there's 99 plus. Now, admittedly, there's a ton of tat in there, but there is a good range of games in there that I could, if I turned around to someone and said, okay, you get a PlayStation VR, get these 20 games, and that'll keep you going for, that'll actually keep you going most probably till 2021. But on top of that, you've got Iron Man, you've got Sniper Elite that you can add to that as well.
Just want to say,
Paper Beast.
Thank you ever so much for the donation. You got Cold Yogurt. He's put nav controller has an analog stick. What the hell? He's right. Like when I see that, just tonight, I'm really Paradise is doing a great thing, but I'm looking at some of these comments. I'm not sure why some of them have been deleted. I can't really make out who's deleted a lot.
It's because of some language that's used.
Oh, okay. Like hard to get, but
It's
the Quest is better for porn.
It's the swear words.
And kind of more
earlier
appeal
on.
with this feature. I mean, he's actually right. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. It's true. Like adult men or adults or people, whatever you want to say. Sorry, I've only had a few hours sleep. I was out last night. People want porn. There's no two ways about it. People do want porn, and I don't remember ever doing anything like that on the PSVR. So I don't know, dude. I mean,
Well, no, you can get Pornhub on PlayStation VR.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
to
you
be
can.
fair,
You can download
I don't really have much time for
yeah,
it.
We're not going to touch on the.
I'm just saying though, that is a
but it's possible.
it's a point.
It's
Do you know what I mean? It's
No,
not.
Pornhub has always driven technology.
There you go. Like
Blu-ray, DVD, internet,
Adult content. That's the word.
porn.
So yeah.
porn for everyone. It should be on the Quest box. What we got?
Okay.
But yeah, Foster Clark says, I feel there will be a new excitement for PS4 when Iron Man comes out. I won't be surprised if a selection of PS5 announced showcase. Yeah, I mean, like when I played Paradise, I'm deleting swear words and sexy stuff. You better delete Lincoln, dude. That is some sexy stuff. Sitting in just delete him out of it, man. You know what I mean? He's the most interesting and beautiful man to play certain VR games.
There we go.
But yeah, it's a very, you know what, and like, I think I don't think PSVR is dead. I really do wish that everyone could experience some of the games on PlayStation VR. They are superb. Like, there's no two ways about it.
Yeah.
But I do find myself sometimes thinking and I find myself doing it a lot. If I recommend, like, most people I talk to haven't got a PlayStation 4, if they're asking, and they haven't got PSVR, and they're saying to me, "Dude, tell me about virtuality," and I'm like, "Man, get the Quest."
Yeah.
That's my default answer. Is get a Quest.
That's definitely
but it
my
wasn't.
point on this.
But it wasn't.
If you have a PS4,
It wasn't. It's hard.
you know,
I think, like I say, it's an easy question. If they haven't got a PS4, they're not interested in the ecosystem of the PlayStation. The Quest offers so many extra benefits as a VR experience out the box. So yeah,
having hands on the Quest with those controllers is different as well. Like when you do first contact, you feel like you're gripping something. You feel like you're extending a finger to point at something and put it down. That stuff blows people away. Do you know what I mean? Those little interactions mean a lot, and I think going to roll into Boneworks a bit later on. Personally, I think that's where that game's going to come into its own. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's just a tech demo and all this stuff." I think the VR interactions in that game are going to put other games.
right.
Or people are going to play that and experience something crazy.
Are we going to move away from the other?
Let's go.
Then?
So right, okay.
Boneworks.
So
Go
are
on.
we agreeing then that if you've got a PlayStation, yeah, you would or someone
I
had a
would
PlayStation?
recommend a PSVR still.
Lincoln,
I agree.
Nat,
Yeah, I'll go. If you got PlayStation 4, I would go PSVR. If you haven't got a PlayStation 4, go Quest.
there you go.
Yep.
So that is what we are saying, and I'm happy to go with that as well. But it's still so tight. It's so tight for me. It's hard. You know what I mean? And I'm one. You know, like as game libraries go, I sort of think to myself, you know what I mean? Who knows what next killer app's going to be coming? Do you know what I mean? What will happen? And that's what I'm saying about the link cable as well. If you now chuck the link cable in because we took it away, yeah, you've then got the option of that being a PCVR headset as well. So talking about future proofing or whatever you want to call it, forward compatibility, the PSVR will work on the PS5, yeah, and the Oculus Quest can turn into a PCVR headset. Like it's tough. It's so tough. Like,
but you're going backwards again. You're going
It's
back down to the
hard.
road. Don't do that. Don't do that.
get them both. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Of
mean,
course,
to be honest, if
get
money's
them
no
all.
issue, then you're going to get them both anyway. So, yeah.
You've got to collect them all. You know, you've got to be like what do you call it? DE.
Gaming Legends, it says Quest is future till the battery dies, and then he's put the cool face like, yeah. That's superb. Right.
Yeah, you'll end up like Voodoo DE, where he's got a
Oh
wall
my god, that is
of
absolutely
headsets.
crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So, has everyone been checking out the Perps Christmas Advent calendar? That's been pretty cool. I did say I would give away some codes that were given to me kindly by them. But I'll be absolutely honest, I don't know where the hell they are at the moment because, as I said, I was out last night. It was a long night. I didn't get into like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Did you start giving out PSVR codes in the pub, Chris?
No, they're not. They're not all. They're not all PSVR codes.
Drink, I'll give you this code.
Yeah, give me another shot and I'll let you have it. Let's have a look. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have a look at some point because he gave me all these bloody things and I don't know where they are. Bear with me, guys. Sorry about this.
Okay, well, we've got that there.
Let's talk about. Talk about what we've been playing this week.
Let's talk about what we've been playing. Yeah, that's a good other point. We haven't started that off. Who's first?
Whatever. Go top left, I guess.
Top left.
Who's top left?
Who's top left? That'd be Nat.
Oh, okay. Well, I've actually been playing VR games this week. Now, I'm not going to talk about the Quest Link beta because I've had issues. Not actually with the Link beta, but the streaming side of it. So I don't want to talk about that. So I just want to talk about games. So I've played The Lab, which I really enjoyed, especially the bit with that was set in the Aperture Lab with GLaDOS and the 2 robots. That put a huge smile across my face.
I haven't been through all that yet. I haven't been through it, but stroking the dog.
Oh yeah, that was
amazing.
Great.
That is so amazing.
I like that. So I enjoyed The Lab, and you can see maybe a couple of bits that they there's a thing with like where you're in. I think they call it like the secret heart or secret lab. And there's this huge creature that comes at the end, and you're just like, okay, so they're going to use scale for Half-Life Alyx and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons I kind of wanted to play The Lab, because it was just like they're going to use some of the things they were messing around with in the lab, and they're going to use those on Half-Life Alyx. And so there's a couple of bits where you're like, I can see them using that in Half-Life.
Yeah.
Using that in Half-Life. So that was really cool. And like I say, the Portal thing just put a huge smile on my face, because Portal is one of my Portal 2 especially is one of my favorite games, especially the co-op in that is phenomenal, so I love that. I played you don't really play it, but I experienced Aircar, which was a very
I saw you do that. It is very good. It
is very good. I mean, it's definitely Blade Runner-ish.
Yeah.
In terms of the city scope and stuff, and me being a big Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 fan, that was fantastic. I played Edge of Nowhere, which really, really surprised me.
That's good.
Both in terms of the tone of the game, it went in areas that I was like, oh okay, I wasn't expecting that, because I thought it was going to be more like a mountain survival type game.
Oh yeah. So did I. Yeah, and it twists.
Added to the fact, I also thought it was going to be all first person. So as soon as it put me in third person, that was actually the biggest shock to me. It was like it's third person.
Who makes that? Okay. That's Insomniac, isn't it?
Yeah. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I haven't finished it yet, but I really enjoyed that. What else did I play? Gave Robo Recall a quick try. I gotta be honest, I didn't, maybe I wasn't paying that much attention, but I didn't really notice that much difference between the Quest version and the Rift version. But I wasn't really looking at it in terms of just gameplay. Bang, 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 bang. I really didn't notice that much. I had more fun with it. It did look a little bit sharper and stuff, but once you're shooting guns, who gives a rat's ass? So it was like, yeah, that's okay, that's fine. What else did I play? Played about 40 minutes of Stormland, and Jesus Christ, that was that was like
good
wow.
Game,
yeah, mate.
That was like wow.
Next level, isn't it? It's next level stuff like that. And Asgard. Wait, have you played Asgard's Wrath yet? Did you say? I might miss.
No, I don't even own Asgard's Wrath. That's gonna have to wait till next year. I've got Lone Echo, but I haven't played that. Like I say, I played about 45 minutes of Stormland, and that was
Stormland
just.
blows your mind. Lone Echo still will
Well,
blow
it was
as well.
the scale, when you're looking out at the vistas and everything. Although there was one bit that did make me chuckle when I was doing Stormland. During Edge of Nowhere, this isn't really a spoiler or anything, but there's like a plant that's in the game fairly regularly that pongs these spikes out. You hit it and spikes pop out of it. And I was doing Stormlands, and the bit where you go into the floating gardens, which is like, that's the bit where you're just like, oh, that's cool. And there's a plant in there that literally pokes its spikes out, and that made me laugh because it was like, I saw you in Edge of Nowhere. So yeah, I've enjoyed that. I've played a little bit thanks to GT and thanks to Vertigo Games. I've played a little bit of Arizona Sunshine on the Quest.
Yeah,
as well.
big shout out to them. They sent us They sent the VR link copies of Arizona Sunshine on the Quest.
Yes, thank you, Vertigo Games.
That was awesome. That was so awesome.
I think I gotta be honest. I still think the image is slightly better on the PlayStation VR version.
I do.
But it's a remarkable achievement that they've managed to get the game playing and looking so well on the Quest version. The one thing that I'd be interested to hear your point of view.
We're diving into Arizona now, yeah? We're going to actually get this done now, yeah?
Yeah,
okay,
we've all played it.
Yeah, cool.
The one thing that got me with Arizona Sunshine, this is maybe just, it might just be me, maybe you experience it as well, but the aiming seems to be slightly off. Like I was aiming down sights and I was shooting and it was whizzing past their head. And I'm like, no, I know how to aim down sights.
I know I hit that,
And I'm not hitting the middle of the head, and that's where I'm aiming.
Was this answer you had the day one patch, and then there was another update like 2 days ago? Have you played it since then? Is it within the last 2 days?
I played it yesterday.
Yeah, so and it was the same then. Okay, no worries. Yeah.
But I also have another thing that I've got. I'm waiting on my prescription lenses to come for my Quest. So where my lenses are as well are a little bit lower. It interferes a bit, and I'm sort of like, was that the interference of my glasses being slightly out, or was it the actual aiming of the gun itself? But for my money, it was still. I still had much better aim on the Quest than I do on a PlayStation VR.
One of the things I wanted to play, I wanted when I saw Arizona Sunshine was dual wielding. And unfortunately, with the Move controllers, it wasn't a great game, but it was very good with the aim controller, really good. And they made two-handed weapons for that update, and that's cool. And to be fair, whenever I play Arizona, I default to the aim controller now. That is how I prefer to play it. So it was really nice to do the dual wielding, to have the two hands, to have the joysticks and stuff to play the game as I thought it should have been played before.
I think that on Quest, I've played a bit on the PSVR and tried different controllers and everything else on the PSVR, and I was always sort of like, it just felt a little bit more janky. It just didn't hit home too well with me. Whereas on the Quest, I was like, yep, this made sense. This worked. This was doing good. I think that I definitely prefer the Quest version over PSVR. And the graphics aren't that far off.
No,
they're not. It's not like a chalk and cheese. It's like, one's, Edam and one's, strong cheddar.
For me, to put it simply, I just felt like the PSVR version of Arizona Sunshine was probably a little bit shinier in terms of the surfaces and that kind of stuff.
And I was going to say that I find that a lot with, not a lot, but I find that with games generally, you are actually quite right. Stuff on PlayStation VR tends to look a little bit shinier, and I think some of the draw distances with textures can look better. That's one thing Arizona definitely seems to have cut down on. I think a little bit is the draw distance, or wherever the draw distance of the textures is. There seems to be like 3 stages of detail. As on the PlayStation, I don't remember that at all. It was just, I'm not saying it was highly detailed.
There's more of a further LOD distance type thing going on. But other than that, I think it's a really solid release for
What about
them
you, Lincoln? What did you say?
on
Sorry, mate.
Quest.
Sorry.
For me, I guess I'll try to knock both of these out in one. You know, talking about what I played this week.
Not one out, mate.
I played Stormland. You know, we all know it's a great game. So, and then I played the Blade Runner 2049 Memory Lab. You know, I even uploaded a video for that. But now going into the Arizona Sunshine, I did experience the aiming being off a little bit, but I chalked that up to me having a standard pistol with no scope on it or anything like that, because on the PlayStation version, my pistol does have a scope on it. So I just chalked it up to that, you know, my Quest version of the game, I haven't put a scope on it yet.
Right.
So I just, you know, compensated for that by just moving around and getting right up in the zombie's face and shooting them through the head. So
yeah, when you're straight in there and bam, it happens. You know, it's pretty good.
I think
but
Space
yeah.
Pirate Trainer's got the ability to actually change the rotation slightly of your hand, hasn't it? You can put your hand out and you can choose where you want the gun to sit at that angle. And I do wonder whether that would be a really good option in Arizona.
I think it was just literally the longer shots. Was Nat?
See, I sniped as well. I thought it was fine.
Was it for you when you was looking down the sights, and is it slightly just off and to the right? Basically, you'll see the hit point will be slightly up and to the right.
No, it was off to the left.
So when you're looking down the sights, the shot point that it hits is actually off to the left of their heads.
Yeah.
Where for me, it's off to the right and a bit high.
Yeah, but then how do you know, like, your eyes are like different? Do you know what I mean? Like, different shapes.
We've got a super chat. VTids VR. He
Thank
says,
you.
Are you guys still dipping into No Man's Sky? For me to answer that question, the answer is the only time I really go back and visit No Man's Sky is whenever there's some kind of patch coming out for it, because I'm still waiting for that pro patch on the PS4. But for the most part, it's just way too many VR experiences coming out.
Oh,
that makes it hard to go back to something, especially a large game like No Man's Sky.
I'm glad you said that, because that is exactly my problem. I really want to play No Man's Sky again, especially lately. But I think I've got... What's the other new one that's just come out on the Quest? The Wizard. Waltz of the Wizard. Got that to play. Got the skiing one to play. And I don't know if to play that on PlayStation or Steam, because I'm playing a PlayStation game. I feel like I should play that on Steam, because it's on both. Then we had the Space Shuttle experience. I didn't get to play that personally. Did anyone here play that?
No. I didn't get code for PSVR, and I want to play it on PC just because I want the extra fidelity.
Yeah, thank you for subscribing. Vitis, thank you ever so much for that donation, dude. And
yeah, I mean, I've pretty much decided that's me done now till next year for purchasing games. Because if I purchase anymore, I mean, I kind of went a little bit mad over.
You're not getting Boneworks
Black Friday
with a link?
No, I'm not going to buy. If they give me a code for Boneworks, I'll because I've requested one.
Oh yeah.
If they give me a code for Boneworks, I'll play it.
Mate, I'll buy that 100%. There's no.
But the amount of games I've now got, like I say, I went a little bit bad Black Friday. Bought a lot of games.
I've spent loads of money recently.
I had £45 sitting on my Steam account. I've now got £6 left. So I brought a ton of games there.
I mean, obviously you've been looking at PC games when the link come out. You obviously then thinking, right, I'll download Steam, I'll have a look at the store and Oculus, and like, what do you think about the pricing side of things? Because one of the things I do think that people might not see because they don't jump into it is actually gaming on a PC is actually cheaper than gaming on a console as well. So
the actual games themselves are cheaper, but it's that initial
on
the PC. I mean, I spent a lot more money than I said yesterday on my show. The £1,125 that I spent on this PC, and for some people that would just be like, I think South was saying, that was about £25 more than my graphics card that I brought for my PC. So for some people, you know,
Yeah.
like £1,125 doesn't sound a lot of money. But I've
Sounds a
been
lot
on
to
this
me.
earth for 49 years now. That £1,125 I spent on that PC by far is the most money I've ever spent on one item. I've never spent anything close to that. Closest I would say that I've spent
So
to
that's
that
weird. I don't think
is
of a
about £800 on a holiday.
I don't think of a PC as one item. It's weird. I think of that as a collection of items in a
No,
box. But I know what you
consider
mean.
it one
Well,
item.
no, that's
Probably have
just
to agree. Because other than buying a car, you know what? Because my PC costs more than my 65-inch TV. I paid $1,000 for my 65-inch TV, but when I
Yeah.
bought
that Alienware computer, it was initially $2,000. I caught it on sale for $1,800, and then right after I bought it on sale for $1,800, a week later it turned up on sale again for $1,600. So I went back to Best Buy, and they refunded me the balance of the $200 because it went on sale again. So
Oh, that's cool.
essentially, I paid $1,600 for that PC. But yeah, as far as items inside my apartment, yes, my Alienware is the most expensive item inside my apartment.
I think I went to spend when I was talking to like VR Oasis and a few other people's house from that. I worked out my PC was going to be around 1,700. I think it was.
yeah.
By the time I then got involved, and I was like, I don't want to get a PC and go, oh, it doesn't look as good as I was hoping. I went over the 2K mark. You know what I mean? And it isn't my money, to be honest. I had to borrow it. I didn't have that
They
money.
still have those?
What?
Kmart's.
You said K? No, 2K, 2000.
Oh, okay,
Sorry,
I'm
dude.
sorry.
Kmart.
I don't know what a
2K
K
mark.
mark is. So a Kmart. Sorry.
We don't have Kmart here.
Okay,
I bet they
'cause
sell
they've been
really
dead
good
here
stuff.
for God knows how long.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
that's
we
no worries.
Kmart was never a thing here.
Oh,
Full
cool.
stop.
Yeah.
There is no Kmart here. Full stop.
But when you buy a PC and you do that stuff, do you regret it? Do you ever regret that money? That's because that's one of the things, isn't it? When you spend money like that.
Oh, actually, I just want to put one thing. Kmart is still a thing in Japan, though. You can go to a Kmart.
There you go. If you're in Japan,
All right.
head to your local Kmart.
So
on the
I have
plane and
been
head
to
on
a
over there.
I have been to a Kmart recently. Well, in the last 2 years, I've been to Kmart.
I mean, when I got my PC and I jumped in there, dude, like, the VR side of things, I found it jaw dropping, and I don't ever regret that spending that money on it. I thought it was awesome.
I regretted it on Monday,
You did,
Monday night,
and Tuesday,
Tuesday night.
yeah.
Wednesday night.
Honestly,
We've got to move.
I went
let's-
I
Friday on
know,
Friday.
I know this
You
is
know,
like,
for me, it's been the total opposite. Like my son being the example. If I would have bought him a gaming PC, say maybe 3 years ago, then I never would have, as far as I'm concerned, I wasted money, $500 buying him an Xbox One X. He only uses it now to play, Gears occasionally, which he likes it better on PC because of the wide field of view. So basically, he only uses his Xbox One X to play YouTube. He spends all his time on his gaming PC. If I would have bought that for him about 3 years ago, then I probably wouldn't have wasted $500 on the Xbox One X. And all the games like on Steam, a lot of these VR games don't have microtransactions in them. So, and a lot of them are free. So the PC has saved me so much money. I wish I would have done that early. I wish I would have bought a gaming PC for my son years ago.
nice. There you go.
Yeah,
then.
but that's that's always been the thing recently with Xbox, hasn't it? That once Xbox announced Xbox Game Pass for
we're going
PC,
back into one of these things again. We got to stop doing that.
Yeah, Xbox became irrelevant.
So let's
we
keep
gotta stop
going
that
then.
one.
So where were you? Who was on what talking? So we've done Arizona Sunshine. Pretty much as well. Just quickly cover it in case anyone's wondering. Is it worth buying? I believe it is. I know it was quite hefty, but they did then bring out like a table to say I think 3 parts of the DLC are free, and there was 2 parts that you got to pay for. I think one was £2.50, and the other one maybe a bit more. £3,
What's that, the
£4?
DLC for Arizona
Yeah,
Sunshine?
how much?
No,
was it?
there
It's
isn't any free DLC. It is two parts DLC: Dead Man and
Yeah, but
Damned.
or is it updates? There was 5 things on their list that they're
Yeah, there's
bringing.
most probably a load of updates that are coming, but in
What
terms
was
of
that?
actual new content,
I'll
we're
put it
just
on my
gonna
community thing.
we're just gonna get the DLC. I gotta be honest that it's really kind of Vertigo Games to give us Arizona Sunshine, and I enjoyed
Oh.
myself. But I would not have purchased Arizona Sunshine for £30
Because of the
on the Quest.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That is until I played it.
No, even playing it, I still would have. I would find it if you've only got the Quest, then yeah, I'd most probably say actually yeah, because you're gonna have fun with Arizona Sunshine, especially in co-op. You're gonna have a ton of fun.
That is how I look at it though, personally. So you look at it
But
from So
I also look at it from the point if you've got a PC or if you've got a PlayStation VR. That game has been on sale so many times.
Yeah.
And even though the Quest really hasn't had any sales, even on the Black Friday, I think it was like a collection of games that were on sale rather than individual games, which was a little bit frustrating. It's like, why don't you just put the individual games on sale as well, guys?
So the updates were December 2019 is Two-Handed Weapons update. January is the Old Mine update. February is Undead Valley update. They're all free. And then in March is the Dead Man DLC, which is $2.50. And the Damn DLC, which is $5. And to cross-reference that, if you've already got that DLC on your Oculus account, PC-wise or whatever, then you get it for free.
But how many people bought it on Steam?
Yes, yeah, man. Like I'm.
I'm just.
No,
I'm just
you're right.
saying
No,
it's
you're
from
right.
this-
I just thought like when I played Arizona, I think of it purely from. I mean, everyone's literally on it. Like, compare it to the PlayStation version. That's the first thing everyone pretty much wants to know. What's it like to this version? What's it like to? Because I'm assuming some people
here's the thing.
want a double
Quest,
dip. I don't know.
Oculus Quest fun. Cough, cough, cough. If you only have a Quest,
If you've only got the Quest, then I'd say yes, buy it.
Yeah, same.
There you go.
Yeah, cool.
But like I say, for me, it's like, well, I already own it on PlayStation VR. I could have brought it on sale on Steam. I think it was £15 when over the Black Friday
Yeah.
event, and it's regularly on sale. But yeah, if you've only got a Quest, 100% go out and buy it. Especially if you've got a couple of friends that have got the Quest, make sure one of them buys it because it is still one of the most fun co-op games.
Yeah.
I don't know if the walking is being fixed.
Hopefully not.
I hope it hasn't because that is literally
Hilarious.
the first 5 minutes you will pee yourself laughing looking at your mate walking because their legs just be like this.
It's like they're stuck. It's like they're glued for too long before you take your next step. It's absolutely phenomenal. Lincoln, are you happy with you're happy with Arizona, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. That's a catch-22 because it is a fun game.
Right.
I think it had to. I think it has the. I wouldn't know if it already is. I was going to say it probably has to be. Probably has the potential to be the most purchased zombie shooter in VR.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
But if it's not, it definitely has the potential.
Okay. Let me just see if I can make sure there's no sound to this. So, moving on to Stardust Odyssey on the PlayStation VR, because I noticed that Shatz was in the chat earlier. How you doing, my friend? He was asking about what do I think of Stardust Odyssey. Did any of you guys check this out or try and get it or play it or anything? No?
It's one of those games.
I did check out your stream because I was curious about it, but it's one of those things of I've got such a backlog of games to play and do that I go, right, am I going to pay for this? And no.
I know what you're saying. So, like...
Yes, Salsa just beat me to the punch because that's exactly what I was thinking. I picked this game. If I were to pick this game up, I would probably take a look at it for 5 minutes and then start bouncing around the other stuff. That's not to say anything bad about the game. It's just, like you said, a huge backlog.
Do you know what I think, right? I think, once again, because we're multi-platformers, That's where this is coming from. If you are on PlayStation VR, you're looking for new games. I personally am. Do you know what I mean? As a PlayStation VR user, I'm always like, what we got new? What's coming?
Yeah, but it does also depend on what type you are. If you're somebody who invests just the massive amount of time in, say, Firewall,
Mm-hmm.
where you know, it's because you're a multi-gamer, you're not only a multi-platform streamer, but you play multiple games. If you are a multi-gamer type, then you are going to always generally be looking for some different games to play.
Yeah.
But if you are deep into a certain type of game, it gets expected that you are playing that the most. I know that I had that a lot near the beginning with Eve Valkyrie, that the most game I would play, or the game I'd play the most, is going to be Eve Valkyrie. And that was the same for everybody that I knew.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what your channel's about as well. Like, me personally, I
But
try to do new
Yeah,
games all
I
the
get
time.
loads of people's where Sasa was saying about Firewall. I still get invites for Firewall, and it's just like I'm playing other stuff.
Yeah.
But the people that I get the invites from Firewall, when I see them on my friends list, that is the only game that I've ever seen them playing, because they found it. It's like I see JD's in the chat. You can guarantee that if you watch JD playing a game, it's a very specific type of game. It's a racing game, whether it's GT Sport or Project Cars or Dirt Rally or whatever. It's a racing game. That's his thing. That's what he wants to play. That's what he finds enjoyment in. I've always been a thing. I get bored very, very quickly, and so I always want to move on to something else. As for Stardust Odyssey that we were talking about, I haven't watched anybody's streams or anything. I don't think they did a good job in the trailer saying what the game was about. Because I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know.
Oh, we all agreed on that. We all agreed on that. We said it looked good.
It looked beautiful, absolutely drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
But what was going on?
So yeah, it didn't really appeal to me, and I was just like, yeah, okay, it's out for PlayStation VR. And again, I agree with you, GT. If you're only a PlayStation VR user, yeah, you're begging for new content, or a lot of people are begging for new content, so they will be looking at something like Stardust Odyssey. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's an enjoyable game. But yeah, I looked at it and it was just like, yeah, whatever.
See, I played it. I thought a bit like what Paradise said, and I'm glad he said it as well. I think Stardust Odyssey is one of the best looking games on PSVR, and it's crystal clear. Graphically, it shocked me in a good way. I was very like, wow, this game is beautiful. It is a beautiful game. The only thing I found about it was it kind of got a bit repetitious in the time I was in it, which was a bit of a shame. I really wanted to get on with it and enjoy it, but there was a bit of like, how long would this entertain me for? I don't know. You know, I got a little bit bored in places, but horses for courses, different things for different people. As a quality control aspect, it delivers. The controls were great. Everything was fine. It meant like the way the ships work and the action was there. It was all really good. Like technically, it was good. I was happy with that. As for the gameplay, I think there might be a little bit more depth to it than what I found, because it seemed to be things that you could collect. That you like. There was keys that you couldn't get necessarily at a certain point of the game till maybe you've got to progress to the further ahead to then come back again. And I know that's a little bit of a cop-out in a way, like, you got to come get more gameplay out of this. But if you're enjoying the game, why not? You know, and that's going to bring...
There's a lot of games that use that mechanic, though.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? If you want to be in that world and you want to play that game, all the better for it, because there's a reason to go back. And I like that. And that's going to bring me to Deathlap in a minute. So let's... so you didn't check it out either, Lincoln? You said, didn't you? You missed it, sort of thing.
It would be a game that I'd probably take a look at for 5 minutes, take a look at the graphics, and then I probably would have moved on to something else. Well, again, I don't. It does have some beautiful, vibrant colors to it, but the backlog thing, I would have been bouncing around all over the place.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no worries. And I haven't got a video for this one. Okay, so let's talk about Deathlap. Did any of you play Deathlap?
seeing your stream again.
Okay.
I want to try it out, but when I was actually watching your stream on it, you can speak more to truth on this. There's certain vibes in it where I was getting, they've missed a trick here. There's something that seems
That is my
somewhat
thoughts.
lacking.
So it's down the
in,
Discord.
I think the overall design of the tracks in
Yeah.
particular.
And the vehicles.
Vehicles I wasn't paying so much attention to in that term.
Okay.
But I think in general, I was sort of like, there's something missing in the actual track design. And yeah, we're 2 chats for
Thank
the
you,
$5.
Shats. Cheers, man. Thank you ever so much. Yeah, I would say check it out, and I'd love to actually say to you, you've got the refund policy to fall back on, but you haven't. So, not really, with PlayStation.
No.
So, but I think it's worth definitely checking out. Check out some streams. Check out your favourite content providers or influencers, whatever you want to call them. Look out for the people you trust and see what their opinions are and build it from there. But yeah, so Deathlap for me, I put it on the Discord today because, like today, as I said, I was out last night. This morning, I'm just chilling out, watching some TV, and I started looking at other people's Deathlap streams. Or videos, sorry. There's not many streamers actually. They're pre-made. A lot of people make pre-made stuff,
Yeah.
and I get that. The quest is a nightmare. And the comments I was getting was like, I don't know, man. Like Deathlap was the next Mario Kart, or
I'm like,
Deathlap is the game.
No.
I think I'm sure I read or somewhere someone said Deathlap is the game that Oculus Quest owners are waiting for, and I was like, I never got that. And this is all personal. This is all me, yeah. I thought I was really excited for Deathlap because I wanted that game. And I was uploading a video for Shadow Legend, which is coming to PlayStation VR soon. During that time, and it was a 45-minute upload, I finished the game. And there was still like 55% of that upload left or something. It was like 22 minutes. And I was like, no way. Like, no way. Like, I know, and this was...
Radio G has got more content than that.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I played Radio G for a few hours the other day, just trying to unlock certain stuff.
Yeah.
And I was a bit like...
You know, I was surprised by Radio G as well, because on the PSVR, I got bored really quickly.
Yeah, I did.
On the Quest version...
Yeah, it kept me going, yeah.
I kept going.
Yeah, and I want to like Deathlap. That's the thing. I want to like it. Don't ever think I want to like video games. I love video games, but like for me personally, I was a bit like, okay, so that leaves the online mode. That's cool, but that's 5 tracks, and I think it's 5 cars. That's your lot, and it kind of felt like I'd played a demo or like a beta or something. And there's more stuff to come. If there is, fair play. I don't know about it, and I haven't. You know, maybe I missed it in the email that there's more free content coming. I'm not sure.
See, this is what Shaz has come up with this, and this is what I thought it was going to go down, the route of closer to Burnout. If it was closer to Burnout, then I'd be on that more. There's an older game where you used to go around. Running over zombies and all that lot as well, which has the same sort of visual vibes that you've got with Deathlap. But it you know, I can't say for me from watching streams, it looks a bit, but then you've got other people that are enjoying it. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's weird. It's not unenjoyable. That's not my issue. There are some issues with the game. Like, if you do play it, check out people's videos for the comfortability options. Just go for intense, because there's like this weird option where if you don't have it on intense, the car won't stay where you sit, which is completely VR immersion breaking straight away, because you'll go to turn right and your car will go that way and you'll still be facing that way. And in the end, I could do a full 180, and I was like, what the hell?
Whoa.
What sort of option is that? Like, what
is the game multiplayer?
Yeah, and I played some multiplayer as well. It's actually alright. There's nothing like it's okay, but that was weird. The other thing I found, and actually I played Dash Dash to remind myself of this. People aren't necessarily locking down how they. It's weird considering PCVR arguably is the place to be for sim racing or racing games. Yeah. How the hell can they still be like arguing about where to put the accelerator and brake on the touch controllers? Because on the on dash, you pull the left grip to accelerate and the left trigger to brake. I think on Death Lap it was the left trigger to accelerate and the left grip to brake. And I'm sort of thinking, I don't know.
But then you've got, say, like touring cars, where it's going to be the left trigger to brake and the right trigger to accelerate, just as you would if you were using
a DualShock or an
a
Xbox
DualShock.
One. Yeah, and I prefer that personally. I'd prefer to have just right for accelerate, left for brake. Because that's kind. I guess they're doing that. That's where the pedals are.
Throw in a little sidebar here because we've got there's talk going on about what do you call it dash racing and then throw touring carts into it as well, which has been steadily improving.
And Motor Racing X, Mini Motor Racing X.
I want to play that one as well.
But yeah, sorry, you're saying
we've got that's 3. So we're saying Death Cars, despite some comments, doesn't look like a Mario Kart racer at all. It's not a kart racer.
Maybe I'm a bit tired, but I think it's a really I can't be bothered to describe this game. I'm going to slap a really famous game on it just to get my point across of some sort. Like that's how it feels to me. I don't really appreciate that personally. I'm like, if I ever played a game like Dash is that style of game. It's a kart game with weapons. Like that's probably I'd say Dash is closer to a Mario Kart style game than touring karts, for example, because the tracks are wide, the drifting's right.
Fun kart games.
Kart
games.
So and I struggle when someone like Death Lap to me didn't remind me of Mario Kart at all. And that's my opinion. I'm not but it worries me that people, if they're new. And I'm probably going on a rant here, but if people are new to VR, and most people know what Mario Kart is, I think if they buy Death Lap for Mario Kart, I'll be thinking I don't know. I don't get the reference. I want to because it'd be amazing to say that, wouldn't it? Like, oh wow, this game is Mario Kart in VR. Like that's what everyone wants, a kart game like Mario Kart VR. But if they're going to keep doing weird controls, it's going to be a tough sell for a while, you know what I mean? So I think it's weird that we got the best racers on virtuality, yet you slap a kart or another game on it, and it isn't serious. Like all of a sudden, it's like, well, I don't know where to put the button. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's still got 4 wheels, so.
Yeah, I was hoping for a Twisted Metal type vibe out of Death Lap. And,
I would say it's a little bit like that, but isn't Twisted Metal remind me more of like a fighting game in an arena?
Yeah.
So I mean,
that top-down-y thing, is different.
Yeah. So I mean, out on the outside, looking at it graphically and stuff, the explosions, the weapons and stuff. I actually like the cars in the game. I like the characters. I mean, the guy. Funny enough, it adds a bit of class to it, seeing that man talking and stuff. You sort of think, oh wow, this looks like a big budget game, and that's cool. I don't appreciate it personally when I start racing. I'm like, yeah, just shut up, man, I want to race. But I get it. People are going to go, yeah, this looks cool. But as I said, unfortunately for me, I want, and this is, as I said, it's all personal. I want trophies, and I want cups, or do you know what I mean? What happened to having CC classes? When did that stop? When did that, or different things to keep you going? I used to love, one of the best things about Mario Kart was trying to get that 100% first in every race, on every lap, to get the gold trophy sort of thing. That drove me back to Mario Kart so much, but I guess it's because the gameplay was there, and there was enough tracks and stuff to keep you interested, so. I don't know, man.
Well, at least you can buy it on the Oculus store or Steam store. I assume you can buy it on the Steam store.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you got a 14-day refund policy as long as you play it for less than 2 hours.
That's exactly what I said on my stream. People are like, do you think I should get it? You're not too impressed with it? Because after an hour and a half of playing it, I was like, I don't really want to keep playing it because I've got nothing new to show. There's nothing left, but really, let's sit down and talk about it. And that's the problem. We're watching a 10-minute video that's pre-made. That's cool because you can make that game look really good, But if you're looking for like a lengthy gameplay session, that game, in my opinion, you can't find that. So yeah, like. Definitely, as you're saying, with the Oculus refund policy, that is awesome, isn't it? You can just play that game.
Basically, it's a case of you're not 100% sold on.
It's an okay game. That's what I'm getting at. It's an okay game, but then everywhere I seem to look, it wasn't an okay game. It was definitely more than an okay game. And I sort of thought to myself, is that because they just haven't played any other racing games at all in virtuality? I mean, that might be a factor. That might be a thing.
Maybe.
Yeah. So.
Well, especially if it was Quest. There isn't really a lot of racing games available on the Quest, is there?
No, but I just find it hard to recommend a game that can be finished in a half hour. Like I can't go on, and that's across all gameplay pretty much. If there's a game that lasts 25 minutes and there's nothing really left to explore, alarm bells go in my head. They do, because it's good people's money. You know what I mean? So me personally, I was a bit like, oh no. When I was playing it, I was like, no. I was really looking forward to this, and now I'm just like gutted. But yeah, that's Def Lab. Ski Jump Pro, I haven't checked it out. Any of you guys play that this week?
No. Again, it's a case of what I looked at, which this week hasn't been a huge amount. Obviously, I looked at what do you call it with you guys as well, Arizona Sunshine.
Yeah.
And then what I've been looking at, I got back into a little bit of Asgard's Wrath because I want to finish the story.
Oh mate, I really want to play that game.
Oh. And then I was looking at the Oculus Link on the Quest with driving games versus a CV1.
Yeah.
And what I thought of the resolution of the Oculus Quest Link for driving games, if you've got a CV1 headset already.
There you go.
Which I did find that you can read the text side in racing games easier in a Quest than you can a CV1. So for a racing game, if you can get the headset to be comfortable enough, I would actually say that you will get a better visual quality out of a Quest Link, a Quest with the Oculus Link, than you can with the CV1.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
But the caveat is you need that comfort there. And there is a couple of provisos in that as well, because it does depend on which sim you're using, which I found ACC doesn't work well with the tracking for the Quest via the Quest Link. It makes it really juttery. It jumps up and down quite a bit. It's like the tracking goes a little off.
You see what hard to get, Ro? You said about 72 hertz is quite light for a racing game. Did you notice any of that as an issue at all?
I didn't notice it for ones. I didn't notice it for Assetto Corsa. I didn't notice it for Project Cars 2.
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice
Race Room,
that
I have problems getting that to work on the Oculus Link. And Assetto Corsa Competizione has some tracking issues with the headset.
Right.
So that was a little bit weird. But no, I mean, 72 hertz, it was working okay. But the reason that's coming up, obviously, in the chat about the 72 hertz is, why is the Quest at 72 hertz? It's at 72 hertz to get better thermals initially and battery life. So it's not just pure battery life. It's about, if they crank it up, you're going to reduce the playtime, plus you're going to increase the thermal heat in the headset.
Carmack said it can do 90.
It can do 90. You can actually overdo it if you want to do it to 90.
Yeah.
And you want to spend the time.
Yeah.
you can actually there is some workarounds that you can do to play at 90 hertz.
Yeah.
Which I have done.
Cool.
But it's not really worth it. I
Sweet,
don't find it
sweet.
worth it.
So what about one of my favourite games this week was the Climb on Oculus Quest, which I have played on the Rift as well. What did any of you guys check that out, or have you checked it out?
Downloaded it. It was on my list to do today, but I woke up later than I planned, so I got stuck onto the racing side instead.
No worries. What about you, Lincoln? Have you played it at all, or the Climb at all?
No, just seen a couple of videos, some comparison videos, Rift version compared to the Quest version. Again, this is I've heard a lot of good things about the game, but again, it'd be another game where I would probably take a look at it for graphical purposes and then start bouncing around again.
I really like it. What were you going to say, Nat? Sorry.
I want it. As I said on previous shows, I want it because I'm absolutely terrified of heights, and I'm sure it'll scare the living bejesus out of me. But yeah, kind of like the other guys have said, it's where do I fit it in? I've got to start catching up on the backlog of games that I've got. Like I say, I kind of went a little bit crazy. Like I say, Black Friday sales, especially on Steam. I know it doesn't sound like because what did I spend? I spent about just under £40, which doesn't sound a lot, but when you got a Steam sale on, like it was, you can pick up an awful lot.
Yeah.
Like I picked up the Crow Team bundle, which is all the Serious Sam VR games, plus Talos Principle game. I picked up Gorn. I picked up on the Oculus Quest store. I picked up Lone Echo, Echo VR. Lincoln, I picked up Blade Runner 2049.
Oh wow.
That's free. So same with Echo VR, that's free. I kind of went through a lot of the stuff on the Oculus Quest store saying, what's free? Yeah, that's free. I'll take that. Yeah, that's free? Yeah, I'll take that. Same with the Steam. I went on Steam. It's like, oh, look, I can get a budget cut demo. Yeah, I'll do that and all this sort of stuff. So it's, I bought a load of games. It's got to be a game that is exceptional now that will, like I say, I mean, Boneworks, I like the look of, and I know we're going to get into that. It does look like it's a pretty phenomenal game. Like I say, the reason it is like, okay, if I buy it now, when do I get to play? Because it's like I've got Stormland and I've got Lone Echo on the PC side that I really want to play, and they're going to take enough time. Added to the fact that I still want to play Death Stranding. I know it's not a VR game, flat game, but I want to try and complete Death Stranding. I need to get Days Gone finished. I need to get Borderlands 3 finished. Yeah, I've got so many games. It's like I've played a lot of the game, and I can kind of make a judgment.
This is one of the things that comes up, and just to answer somebody in chat, and
obviously
thanks Scott Merrill for the $5.
Thank you, Scott, very much. Thank you,
Chris there as well, sort of saying, boiling steel, why is nobody talking about this game as well?
I did.
Yeah, so there you go. But it's just, where is the time on some of these?
Just want to say, Scott Merrill said he's in Discord quite a lot. He's really quite cool. He loves to get up on a leaderboard on a Quest game and put it out there, which is pretty sweet. But hey guys, happy Sunday and thanks for the show. Love the Climb on Quest. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic game, and there was a bloody comment that I'll try to save it to put on the screen for you guys, but I've lost it. But this was from Resogen. He put, I love this game. It's my favourite VR game. This is the only VR game where I feel nervous, I get sweaty palms, and it's really immersive. I don't feel this way in any other game, like roller coasters, the plank experience, and other VR games that make people feel the rush you get when you play in VR. Not even this one ride game that is on Steam called Ultimate Boost Experience. So obviously that title is like, Rah! But the Climb's better. But when I jump ledge to ledge, I feel and use my arms to do it. I really feel like I will fall, so I get this adrenaline rush when I have to do that. I rate this game 5 stars. So he put that in one of the comments on the video, and I just thought that is awesome. Like that is.
You played it on PC as well.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. How does it? I mean, I was looking at your stream for Quest. Like I say, I've got to try it on the Quest yet.
Yeah.
But how does graphically look from the PC version to the Quest version? Because this is CryEngine
Yes.
we're looking at there.
Yeah. So bear in mind, I think it's a very demanding game. Even though it's one of the old games still. Even with my rig, I think when I put it up to everything up, it I think it struggled a little bit. I can't remember, but graphically it has took a hit. I think more so the backgrounds stood out to me as a hit. There was no real depth to some of them. They were just like an image. Do you know what I mean? A rounded image or a dome image, I guess, to make it look like they are there. And they look fine because when you're moving around and doing stuff, it sort of blends in a bit. You don't really notice that. It's when you stand and stare. But apart from that, the game was still there. Like, it still felt great. The hands look fantastic. As you're climbing, once again, when we talk about, I guess it's all optimization and graphical wizardry, how these guys do this stuff where stuff up close looks great, in a certain distance away it looks a little bit less great, in a certain, you know what I mean? It loses those textures and that finesse. Up close, when you're on that cliff and you're climbing and you look up and down, yeah, I was in the climb. I was just in the climb, but it is a very, very beautiful game on PCVR. Like, stunning. There's no two ways about that. I would never say it'd be impossible for me to say the climb is better on the Quest than it is on PCVR if it's visuals, because it's not. But the game is as good, and it is the same, and people are going to absolutely love it. And someone, I think Mike Kelly said, if you want to see a really good video on the climb, check out Mike VR Oasis. He's absolutely right. It's a great video. I absolutely loved watching it. He basically goes to a climbing centre, and so he basically says to him, like, this is what you do for a living, guys. Check this out in virtuality. And their reactions are great, especially the last guy, because he's obviously in front of the camera. He's not bothered by the camera, so he's like, "Whoa, yeah, man!" You know what I mean, he's proper, he's just acting the way he feels, which is really cool. And then they go to Mike, right now, your turn. You've got to do it in real life. So he goes wall climbing at the end. So that was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that video. That was very good. And
I know it came up another time as well about wall climbing, or the centers. And VR. And I can say that it has actually already been done, or has been done as a test for like a location one, where they have an infinity wall and VR mixed together.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be cool. Sorry, Lincoln.
I did see a comparison video, side by side Quest and Rift version, and I guess like the Quest version was like missing like the small details, like insects crawling on rocks, that kind of stuff.
The gnomes are still in it.
Hmm?
There's gnomes.
Well, they can't not be gnomes.
It's so weird.
so I guess where I'm going with this is that if I were to play this game, I would want to play it on the Rift, because at the end of the day, what makes VR where I want to go with it is the more photorealistic a game looks, I think the more immersive it is.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I'm curious about it, but that's definitely a game that if I get around to playing it, I'm going to opt for playing it on the PC.
Jesse says, do you want Minecraft with 6 Degrees of Freedom? I'd love Minecraft to turn up in the Oculus Quest store. I think that would shoot straight to #1 for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of people would, I think, go for that one. We should move on a little bit.
In VR?
Oh yeah, I haven't. I've never played it in virtuality. In fact, I've never really even played the game. My kids have played it a lot. And VR
I think it's a Java edition. I bought the Java edition. It's on my computer for my son, so he has the option of playing it in VR or flat screen.
Yeah, the Java edition, or the web-based one, uses WVR to do it, so that you can do it via the web.
Isn't there a free trial on the Oculus store for that game?
Not for Quest.
No, but for the Rift. I think it's a free trial.
No, not that I was aware of. No, it's not that. It's there was for the 3 Degrees of Freedom headsets for the Go and the.
No, there's definitely something on the Rift.
Okay.
If you
There
check
is
the
saying no,
Oculus
no, no,
Store,
yeah.
okay.
If I go on Oculus Store, Minecraft
Oh,
VR,
yeah.
Minecraft is there, but it don't work.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You don't do anything.
Okay.
It's weird. I don't really understand it myself. It just
It's,
doesn't go
I
anywhere.
think it was a layover from DK2 days.
Oh,
I
maybe,
think.
yeah. So, but
But
yeah,
yeah,
guys.
everybody wants it. So
Anyhow,
So yeah, so basically, running on the screen now is a video from a channel called Node, excellent channel, and this video is excellent. And to me, this talking about Boneworks, when I watch this video, I mean, it's weird. Obviously, you got the skeptic afterwards saying like, all this shows to me is it is a tech demo. That's what people are saying. It's a tech demo. But if you look on like Twitter and stuff, there's an ending. Like one of the guys put on there, the ending to Boneworks is going to shock people. And I thought, well, that means there's a story. Obviously, there's more than just, I know there is a story, like this guy stuck in this factory and stuff. And so I didn't really listen to the story. I just looked at it from a technical point of view and thought it looked fantastic. Are you guys? So Nat, I mean, you're saying that I didn't know we was going to have this conversation. You're saying you're not going to get Boneworks on the day of release.
yeah, the one reason I'm not getting Boneworks is time. I want it. I see what people are saying. Oh, it's a tech demo. I think what they've done is they've seen all the technical demo parts that they can do. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this.
Yeah.
Kind of
nobody's
like
seen a
what
story.
Valve have done, and then I think they've based the story around it. And I think Valve have actually done the same thing. I think they've tailored a story around what they can do. That's why I think Half-Life Alyx is going to be so amazing when you actually play it, because they are going to get you to do things that you can only do in VR. And I think Boneworks is going to do a similar thing. What's going to make Boneworks or make or break it is the story around it, because you can have all these little fun, you can do this and you can do this and you can do this. It's not about you can do it. It's why are you doing it? If you are given a compelling reason to do something, you want to do it. So it does look really cool. It does look fun and everything. I mean, sort of like that bit where he's like tossing the gun and sort of like putting the clip in and stuff
The
like
kickflip,
that. That's fun, but that is gimmicky. And yeah, you'll do it for a few times, but honestly, if you're like 3 hours or 4 hours in the game, are you still going to want to be throwing a gun up to put a clip in it or stuff? You'll most probably be like, yeah, okay, that's fine for the first bit. So it's always going to be what is the compelling reason to move forward in any game. I mean, that was one of the reasons I was, everyone sort of went gaga over Blood and Truth. And for me, I always thought the gameplay was a little bit lacking. What got me to go to the end of Blood and Truth and want to go to the end was the story. It was the characters. That was the bit. It was
Felt like
the
you was in a
gameplay
film.
part of it.
It felt
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
It felt like I was in a movie. Yeah.
So Boneworks, yeah, I do feel I can understand what people are saying. Oh, this is a tech demo. This is what you can do. This, you can do this. You can do this. That's great. I think they have built a story around it, and the interesting bit, because no one's played the story, is how compelling is that story. So you can have all these tech bits, but if it's just the tech bits and the story isn't compelling, you're going to be bored after about an hour. You'll be like, okay. So what is pushing me to go forward? Like this, like I say, I've only played 45 minutes with Stormland, and to be honest, the only reason I stopped playing is I had to get ready to come on here, because that's how early I was playing Stormland.
Yeah.
You sent me a message saying, "Nat, where are you?"
Someone did, yeah.
I didn't know because I was playing Stormland. It was only I put to be honest, if I'd have not put the headset up a bit to look at the time and sort of see, no, it's 7:15, I better get on here. I'd have been sort of like still playing the damn thing. That story was, I want to go on, because it was like, well, why is that there? Why is that there? Oh, that's sad. That sucks. And so it's just the story. It's for me about games. It's always about the story. Now there is just pure gameplay elements like Pistol Whip. I've got to admit, Stormland, if it carries on with the way it's going, is going to surpass Pistol Whip by a country mile.
Right.
it's going to, Stormland's going to be at this level and Pistol Whip is going to be at this level. So as I said, Pistol Whip is elevated straight to my #1 VR game of the year.
See, I don't even put them in the same category. Like, to me, Pistol Whip, they're just like, so. As far as I know, the Valve Index sold out because this game's coming out.
No, Valve Index
No.
sold out for Half-Life.
What happened?
Yeah, they sold out
because
for
of Half-Life.
Half-Life.
Sorry, it's because of Half-Life. But this game,
You
for
got to
me,
remember, this is the same. What's important about Boneworks and Half-Life Alyx is this Boneworks is the first showing of Source 2. This is what Half-Life Alyx
he's going to
is
be
built
running
on.
Yeah.
This
But
is
it wasn't
the
Half-Life
same engine.
Alyx that maybe won an Index, though. It was this. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but this was seen to be whatever they was doing here in Boneworks. The rumors was always, well, they're doing this, they're showing this Boneworks stuff off, but they're going to dump, Half-Life into it, and we're going to end up with actually a Half-Life title that's done by somebody else, which is not the case. But
For me,
it's I've seen these trailers and I love what they're doing, but I don't have a clue of what the game is going to be, how long it's going to
I don't
play.
even care for some reason. I just want that interaction. I want.
Yeah, I do as well. I
Go on,
really
Lincoln,
do
what
as
you gonna
well.
say, man?
But at the same time, it's a how much money do you pay out at the end of the day all the time? If you just go right, if you also have the time and things like that, but it's like, yeah, I want to play that just to see how good they've done it.
Somebody's put in the chat that Boneworks is on Unity, not Source 2. Is that right?
No, it's not. It's definitely not Unity.
Well, I'm
It's
looking at my phone
definitely
because
not
I'm trying to
Unity.
get a feel for how much Boneworks is going to cost. So I was at my phone checking that out.
Yeah, it's
Because
like
for me,
$30, isn't
time
it? Is it
and
$30 roughly? Do you reckon? I can't remember if we found a.
I think it's $29.99, isn't it?
Time and price is going to be an issue for me with this game because it does look like a tech demo. So there's only so much I'm willing to pay for it because it does have a tech demo look to it.
I can't. Go on.
Time is going to be an issue for me too, but I think I'm going to end up having to get it anyway because I think if my son has any inkling that this game has any kind of a Half-Life connection to it, then he's probably going to want it.
I seriously am so hyped for this. Like, in my mind, everyone was getting this. Like, that's how much I think this game looks. I think it looks important to virtual reality. I do. I think this, and in a way, it might be not good because I don't know about you guys. Like, when I play a VR game, I check things work. Doors, sinks, toilets, hand dryers, objects in general, and there's nothing worse for me there. I'll be coming along and I go to pick up this bottle and my hand goes whoop through the bottle and I'm like, oh man, fair enough, move on. Like, I'm used to that. It happens a lot. In this game, it doesn't look like that. This game looks like if you want to touch something and pick it up, it will have a bit of weight to it. It's gonna move, and and I think that's really important. I think what's going to happen is you're gonna play a game like this, and then you're gonna go back to other virtual reality titles and go, dude, that is next level. That is what we're expecting. So, but Fight says if you don't have a Valve Index, you won't get the full experience. I mean, I've heard like it's going to be really good with the touch controllers as well. But you are right. I still think it's going to be an exceptional virtuality experience, regardless. I think with the touch controllers, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But I think it will be ultra amazing on the Index Knuckles.
And that's a great thing that they're not leaving us out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with Half-Life, isn't it? They've said that look, the premium experience is going to be with the Valve Index for Half-Life Alyx, but it's like, well, you ain't getting a lesser experience because it's still going to be a game that's just going to blow our minds.
Based on that physics. It's still based on that physics thing. It's one of the things that gets me between, say, the difference between some of the really great games that we've talked about on this cast as well, you got like say Lone Echo
This game
is the
wicked.
one. Lone Echo is the one again, and that's the same because of that interaction.
Just
It's
the way you
same
can
with
move around
Boneworks.
in that game, because it feels like you're in space. That's
Yeah.
the best thing about Lone Echo. For me, that was the wondrous thing.
But
Apart
it
from the
was
graphics.
it was also that almost everything that you come across, you can interact with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same in Boneworks, that almost everything you come across,
Yeah.
you can interact with.
Yeah.
And that is the thing with Half-Life Alyx as well. It's physics-based, and everything's got the physics applied to it, so you can interact with it all.
It's raising the bar.
So,
That's what I'm saying. This
yeah.
is you, and you want to be part of that bar. You want to experience when it happens. That's what I'm saying. That's to me
Yeah.
like I love virtuality so much that I feel I can't miss this. I can't miss this day. Like on the 10th,
Yeah.
I think things will change. The same as when I played Asgard's Wrath, Stormland, certain games that super hot, going backwards, super hot. Batman. First time I looked over and looked at the streets of Gotham, wow. First time I sat in the van on PlayStation VR Worlds and opened the door and
You're
thought
looking for the next wow moment.
yeah, and I do get it, and I think for me the one thing that I always look for is interactivity. I want that so bad, and yeah, I'm really excited. Blam put a really good comment that made me laugh. He put Half-Life Alyx is the only game that can't be overhyped. He's probably right.
Yeah, I'll probably end up getting Boneworks because all of you are saying that like Half-Life is going to give me those photorealistic graphics that I'm looking for, along with the physics that Sos is talking about. Because like some of the games out there, like you said, GT, there's some games out there that look really, really good, but you go to grab a cup and it's nailed to the ground. You can't. It's it's not something that you can pick up, and So yeah, I guess the more I think about it, I'll probably end up getting Boneworks. I know I will at some point. I'm just not sure if I'm going to get a day one.
Yeah, man, and that's money is always an issue. Of course it is. But I've been preparing for this for a long time.
I would say time is actually more of an issue.
Same here. 7 Degrees. It's more about the time.
So I'm quite lucky. I think like this week I booked 2 days off to attend an event which I can't actually talk about because it isn't happening now, but it was, and I booked 2 days off, and it just so happens it's exactly the same
it coincides as Boneworks release
so
dates.
I'm like,
so you're like, I'm going in there, doing that. Thanks, Oculus Quest Fund for $3.
Thank you, dude. Thank you ever so much. Really
Let's
appreciate that, man. Yeah, and that's another one, JD. Like I got the Halo game as well. I think it's only Halo Reach, which is I think only $6.99 on Steam. I didn't know that. I bought the whole bloody collection like a fool. Not saying I'm not going to enjoy them. I do struggle for time to enjoy them. But yeah, Halo Reach once again. That's another game that is going to be getting the VR mod hopefully from what's his name? Is it? I want to say Nacho Libre, but I don't know. That was the wrestler guy, wasn't it? I can't remember. Yeah, what was that?
I'm definitely going to pick that up when it comes out. Half-Life. I think Half-Life is probably going to be the only game on the first time that I might put in for a vacation day to have that day off.
But I think that's the. I think Boneworks is that. I do. I think if you've got any interest in virtuality, just my opinion. I think, and you've got the ability to try it. That's what this is. Nibra, thank you, Paradise. Sorry, man.
I mean, the more I'm looking at this trailer, the more interaction I see in this game.
I'll post his Twitter on here
because it already looks good.
Oh man, like the first time I saw the guy get a crowbar. I'm not saying I could do this with touch controllers because I'm not going to have that finger tracking. But the first time he went like with the fingers on the crowbar, I thought, oh, I want that. I want that. Like, that's me, done. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then when I watched this video, and it was quite weird going through the comments, like, people were like, all this has done is just prove to me it's a tech demo. And I'm like, but something's got to be a tech demo at some point. Something's got to go out there to go, this is what can happen. this is what we're doing, and this is what you will be experiencing. And I'm like, yeah, what's to moan about? It's pushing boundaries, it's changing things, and all it does is when you see stuff like this, it makes other people go, wow, like people can't even pick up a flower pot in our game.
It's because everything else that's been out there so far with Boneworks hasn't been about there is story here, or it's about this journey. It's about this. It's about something else. That's why they say, well, I love what it's doing.
Yeah.
And I love that it says, why they say it looks like a tech demo, and why they're going, but some people need more than just what's possible in there to compel them to go and spend money.
Yeah,
and that's the point on this, that what's been put out there as media for Boneworks doesn't compel someone to go, I want to put my money to go through that experience. Other people, like say for yourself, GT, where you want to go, what does that feel like with the VR? How have they done that? I want to engage with something that makes it possible to do that in VR and mess around with the physics and the gravity of stuff and use and do whatever I want to do in a virtual world.
Yeah.
You want to be able to grab that teacup, put it over the edge of whatever warehouse, let go and see the thing smash properly.
I really do. Yeah,
well,
that's
the one thing I will say is, this is great looking at the Boneworks thing. I agree with Salsa though, that the reason why everyone keeps going gaga over the Half-Life Alyx trailer is it was the perfect amalgamation.
Yes.
They gave you enough story that you're like, I want to know what happens in that story.
Yes.
But they show you the tech demo stuff, moving the
and it's going to be
the bucket, moving the little thing so you can get the bullet, put it in the gun, flip the gun over, close the gun, cock it, shoot the combine guard. They give you the tech stuff.
Oh, mate,
this
yeah.
is all the stuff you're going to do. But they wrap it up in this really cool story, and like there's the Valve humor, like the guy when he sort of throws the gun out. Don't worry, it's unloaded, and the gun goes off. That's Valve humor. Well, it's unloaded now, so those sort of things.
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely.
why the Half-Life Alyx trailer was so good. So the one negative I will say for the Boneworks guys is you've shown all the tech demo stuff. You've shown that I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. The one thing you haven't shown me is the story. You haven't shown me any story beats of why I want to play this for a story element. And I agree with you, GT, that you don't have to have story elements. Pistol Whip has no story elements. It's pure gameplay. But again, it's a different type of game. Boneworks has to have story elements.
I think it has. I just think it has.
I haven't seen any.
No, I haven't seen any, but I've read it sort of has. But the other thing is,
seen any? Why haven't we seen any story elements?
There was a guy on Twitter who's what's his name?
No, but that's reading it and saying there is an ending. That's great.
But I personally believe they thought, technical wise, that it was for me, and that's not for everyone. You're absolutely right. This is the whole point of it, isn't it? You as gentlemen are basically saying there's not enough here. Technically, it looks amazing, but I'm happy to wait and see what happens. Blah blah blah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, for me personally, the technical side of it was enough. I didn't really care if there was a story. I was like, if there is, bonus. I'm well in for what is on display already, and that's cool. We're all different gamers, aren't we? We're all looking for something different. So, just want to quickly.
That's why I wanted Stormlands, because the trailer sold me on the story, and it's Insomniac, and I know they can do a good story.
Jesse, we had a massive conversation about that at the beginning of the chat as well.
Wow, Brandon, thank you very much for the donation.
Oh, thank you ever so much. Cheers. The gigs here have been well. Oh, Brandon, dude, thank you. That's awesome. Yep. That's a lovely.
Thanks, Brandon.
Cheers, man. Thank you. Really appreciate that. So Jesse's come in, and once again, like, I guess because people are putting quest content out there, it's a massive subject. People want to know, is the Oculus Quest worth it? And yeah, it is. One of the things we talked about was if you might not even be interested in the PlayStation VR. If you're not, ignore this comment. But if you have a PlayStation 4, then we always now say check out PlayStation VR. But yeah, I think the Quest is really worth it. I think it's a great, easy, accessible, wonderful doorway into virtual reality, and it offers very good experiences.
I had come across a particular question this last week, I think it was, where someone went, "Why is it called the Quest?"
Oh, that's cool.
And I just went, "Well,
Are you talking
I don't
about
know if
this
it's
delicious
Yeah.
headset right here?
yeah. Why is it called the Quest?" And
Mine's
I
always
was
like-
thinking, the reason why why they would call it and have called it the Quest, is that it was their quest to get 1 billion people into VR,
With a link.
and they saw this headset to be the main driver, the main start towards that road.
Yeah, I think the PlayStation
That's
VR done
my
a
opinion.
fantastic job, and it does do a fantastic job. But I think that's what I'm trying to say. And trying to talk about it earlier, we had that big discussion. The Quest does an as good a job, and in some ways, for me, if you haven't got a PlayStation, a better job. So yeah, always got the eyes on it.
Definitely got better controllers, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
get around to putting something on my Quest sooner or later.
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. You can get shells. Well, yeah, that's it, Jesse. That's the same as my uncle. Funny enough, I did check the PSVR out, but I wanted a wireless one. Do you know what? Once you experience wireless virtuality, wired virtuality is a bit of a pain sometimes. Like, there's no two ways about it. Even in my Rift S, and I love that headset. Like, what was I playing? As I said, I was doing the lab on Steam. Absolutely, I thought it was amazing. I can't wait to check out more. I haven't played it all. As soon as I put the Rift S on, I'm like, yeah, this, and I'm like, oh, snag. Do you know what I mean? Move around a little bit, pull the cable out. Do you know what I mean? Then you do something else, oh, snag, got the cable again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think to myself, like, as I said, my uncle, he's away from home a lot, using virtuality in hotels. He actually says, like, they'll be down there having drinks tonight, and he'll go upstairs and bring his Quest down to people and go, have you tried this? And, like, there'll be a guy playing it, and then someone else will walk past and go, what the hell is he doing? Like, and do you know what I mean? What is that about? And people ask questions. As I said, there's some random German guy who's played Beat Saber 360. When I met the Beat Saber girls, I was playing the 360 mode in the hallway, and this guy come along, and I don't want to say no to anyone who wants to try virtuality, and I sort of shouldn't have done it really, because she was like, oh yeah, you know, only select people, you know, not many people have played it, and this guy come on, and he was like, oh, what are you doing, man? I went, this. Stuck it straight on him. Yeah, so some random guy has played Beat, and he's probably not even played Beat Saber the proper way. He's just played the 360 because he's never tried virtuality before. And yeah, like I remember looking at the lady and I was thinking, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Do you know what I mean? Like, who is this GT guy taking the piss? So yeah, but it was awesome to watch his reactions. And as I said, people are walking by going, what's going on? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, the one thing I will say about my Oculus Quest, and obviously I'm using it for the link side, is I'm going to try to get the link cable as soon as possible, 100%.
The cable,
because, for the simple reason, boy, does that cable drag you down in terms of weight.
Yeah. The anchor's the same.
You notice it.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I don't notice the PlayStation VR version.
Have you got the rear pad? Nah.
No.
So one of the things I can't remember.
I do put the cable around my back.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Behind me, it does go down, but even then,
just chucking it in.
I still feel the weight of the cable.
Chucking it through there made a massive difference to me. So it went down a bag,
but yeah, I'm definitely going to get the. I know it's really expensive, but I
it's
just
the lightweight side of it.
I just want the lightweight side.
Yeah, PlayStation VR's cable is. I think it's actually lighter than the Rift. It's really quite light, isn't it? It's really light actually in comparison.
Yeah, that Rift S cable is pretty thick, but it hasn't coiled up on me.
No, yeah, my old Rift cable, man, I dreaded that thing all the time. It'd get kinks in it, and when they said they weren't supplying the cables anymore, I was like, oh, dude. Oh man. How are we doing for comments anyway, guys? How are we looking? So we're gonna have to wrap up soon.
Lots and lots of comments.
GT has.
You know what I'd like to do with my Quest is like put some like Thor wings on the side of it.
Oh, his little helmet, little white wings.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, that'd be cool.
You can do that.
You
As
can
long
do
as you
that.
just make sure that you don't get it caught in the the slide mechanism bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
One thing
Brandon,
I do want to
that's
bring
cool.
up that I saw in the chat earlier on that we haven't discussed quickly is the announcement that Viveport, the Viveport subscription, is now working with the Oculus Quest link.
Well, it's been working for quite some time.
Yeah, but not officially. They've officially announced that it's definitely working with the Oculus Quest link. But what was actually really frustrating about that is they announced it for a few days after the Black Friday sale that Viveport
Oh,
had
£5 a
finished.
month.
So
Yeah.
if they'd have, how many more people would have actually maybe got that?
Yeah.
Because like I was looking at it and I was like, well, it's not officially working with it, so I'm not too sure. Even though it's like a 14-day trial, and then within that time they announced, oh yeah, well actually it now is working. I can still take advantage of the 14-day trial, and I'm sure I will. But again, I've got so many games to play.
Yeah, there
the
is
thing
one of the
about-
things that I keep on forgetting about as well. Actually, with Viveport, is forgetting to check for the games that are coming out on Viveport, because I have a Viveport subscription as well, and a lot of people would be jealous at the price that I got my Viveport subscription at. They was going to put it up, but they took a look and went, "Hang on a second, yeah, sorry, we'll keep it at what it was."
What was you going to say, Lincoln?
I was about the Viveport, so also could probably answer that question. I read an article that Viveport has over 8,000 games in its library, which was...
I don't know how many. The problem is there's
how many
a
of them are
load
you going to play?
Yeah, how many are you going to play? That is the big point that I was going to say. It's when you look at it, you want to look at what is a good release. What is the releases that you look at and you go, yeah, I definitely want to try that. Yeah, I definitely want to try that.
Yeah.
And just because of the amount of time that we have with so many good games as well, and I've got a back catalogue of good games still to play as well, there are a lot of games there that I'm not going to touch.
I agree.
But not everything's free, if I understand it.
No. Plus, I'm not a subscription guy anyway. I'm the type of person that once I buy a game, it's mine.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to rely on a subscription. Make sure my subscription is paid up to be able to play a game.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, what they're listing is the number of games is different. So Infinity is ones that you can actually get with your subscription. So anything else that's on Viveport is not necessarily available as Infinity. So there can be so many thousand games on Viveport, but they're not all Infinity. So it's what's available with the subscription. But I do have to always go back and check sometimes, because I have missed and bought games on Steam and then seen that they were available on Infinity.
Yeah.
And I could have just downloaded it as part of my subscription.
There's nothing worse than that, man.
Why did that happen? Why did I go and buy that on Steam when I've already got it on my Viveport subscription?
What's the refund policy on Steam? I haven't actually ever refunded
2 hours.
Similar to Oculus, I think 2 weeks or 2 hours.
Right, okay.
If you stay within those parameters. If you go over 2 hours, then that's it.
Yeah, unfortunately with the games I'm talking about, I did go over those because I did I think one of the games that I was sort of like, damn, I didn't realize that was on Viveport.
Yeah.
I had streamed for over 2 hours.
Oh, Marcus has put, my biggest issue with Viveport are the Oculus supported games that don't have proper support for touch controllers. So not every game can be played.
No, there's a couple of games that are still Vive only, and there are a couple of games where the support for controllers aren't 100%, and then there are the majority of games which actually go through the Steam VR. So they're exactly the same as you would get on Steam.
Yeah.
It's just they are sold via Viveport and Viveport Infinity subscription. So when you play it, it actually opens the Steam version of the game.
yeah. I'm just looking through the chat, man. Like, Brandon's just put, I can literally buy Deathlap, finish it, and return it with a refund window. Yeah, you can. That's the
Damn.
three times,
Excuse me.
3 times over. Actually, you could do that 3 times over. Yeah.
Well, Tony's actually pointed out a thing again, something we've missed this week, but PlayStation have got a state of play.
Yeah,
week.
they have.
this week.
Yeah.
We completely forgot about that. Also, I said that I'm not buying any more VR games. There is one game possibly that I might break that rule over, depending on what it is or what the response is, and that's Twin Peaks, because I'm a massive David Lynch fan, and David Lynch is involved in the game. And Twin Peaks was so weird as a TV show.
Yes.
I can only imagine what it would be like in a VR game.
I dread to think. Actually, I'm like, look, but my brain can only take so much. I think
if it's sub £20, I might just buy it for the hell of it and just literally freak my brain out.
I think it could literally break my brain.
Right, guys.
You know the game just coming out on PSVR that I'm willing to roll the dice on.
For PSVR. So
Yeah.
it's a game. Yeah, okay. So you're saying roll the dice means you're going to take a chance on it. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, would be Predator for the online aspect of it. Being choosing to be a soldier or the Predator going after the soldiers. If this game didn't have multiplayer, then no, I wouldn't be interested in it. But because I think the multiplayer aspect of this game is going to give a Friday the 13th type vibe to it, because Friday the 13th is a very underrated game. It's a really fun game, and I think you can get that same kind of fun out of a Predator. So even though the graphics,
I was just thinking about the Jaguar straight away. I'll never forget the first time I went into Ramblos. What was it called? Rumblos, I think, in the UK, an electrical store. I think that's what it was called. And there was a Jaguar in there, and I remember seeing Alien vs Predator, and I was like, "Fucking hell, this is mental!" Like, graphically, it was mind blowing, and there was like 500 red buttons on this controller, and I could not figure out what each one of them did. I was like, "What the hell?" It was amazing. And whenever I hear about Alien vs Predator, I think about that every time, and it sort of gets me a little bit hyped because of that. Do you know what I mean? I get the old hype.
Boy Brown came up. It was Rumbelows.
Rumbelows. What was it? Boy Brown had an issue he was saying about it. I see someone write something. I see Boy Brown write something, and he needed some help, and I must have missed it. It was something to do with having issues, but I didn't know what it was for. It was with the Quest, and it was something else. But hopefully he's got the answer now. I do apologise. Obviously we're here to try and help anyone if they've got any issues, if we can. So hello Sly, how you doing? Thank you. Brandon, this is basically a podcast with YouTube video on the screen. Yeah, that's it. You can listen to it as well. We got our audio master Salsa. He creates that wonderful bit of magic over on well, personally Spotify. That's what I listen to in the gym all the time, Spotify. So to have the VR link on Spotify for me is crazy. I can't believe that that's something that we've created that is on there. I'm like, that's mind blowing to me, dude. So. But yeah, how you doing? You all right though, guys? Yeah, you all happy? Is there any other issues you want to discuss? No. What games we got next week? Anything in particular apart from Boneworks that anyone's looking forward to?
Budget Cuts 2 is next week, isn't it?
Budget Cuts 2, it is. Let me see what my embargo information is, because I can't remember what that is. I have played it.
I know there's talking a bit about it yesterday, but that was it. Nostros?
That's getting slated on Steam.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, I only heard of it 2 days ago, and then I jumped on Steam to look at some reviews, and it was like, I think it's negative now. It was mixed. I think it might be mostly negative now. If someone can have a look.
Oh, thank you. You got Cold Yogurt again for the $2.99 the $2.99.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's mostly
Thank you ever so
appreciated.
much. Any comments go with that?
Mostly.
Oh, cheers!
Yeah,
great show.
GT, Stouser, Lincoln 7 Degrees, and chat on VR.
Cheers, man.
Thank
Thank you ever so much. Thank you for all being here. Do you know what I mean? Because I know we don't put this stream up early. To be fair, I've tried a couple of times to do this as like a live event. So basically, you could be sitting there all day. Everyone can get ready, ring that bell, and not miss the show. But every time I've gone to do it, there'll be 40 people sitting over there, and we'll start on a whole new window. And it is and I'm like, do you know what? So I really do rely on everyone clicking that bell, setting it to all, so you can be here for the streams and stuff. So yeah, thank you for that. You know, because it is easy just to click the subscription bell and stuff. My emails aren't loading, which is great. But yeah, Budget Cuts too. I don't know when the embargo is. I can't remember. Really look forward to jumping back in that because there's like an enemy in there, like a nemesis kind of robot in there. As I remember, Budget Cuts 2 was it had a kind of a Portal feeling to it a little bit when I played it.
Well, yeah, it does have a Portal-esque type of appeal to it.
Yeah.
And Budget Cuts 2 basically leaves off where the first one ends, but you don't have to have played the first game to play the second one.
Oh, right, okay. That's pretty cool. I'm just going to check out my own video now because someone's just said it's teleport only, and I can't remember.
Haven't they got is it Fast Travel Games? They've gone in collaboration with the guys that did Budget Cuts for Budget Cuts too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fast Travel Games are really growing as a studio,
Oh,
which is good to see.
Andreas, yeah. So Fast Travel, which is Andreas Julius, and he was the one who done the game show. Do you know what I mean? He was the one who done the showcase for Gamescom. He got all them developers together. So yeah, it was Fast Travel Games basically that created that, put them all in one place, which was awesome. I'm just going to chuck in a link to that Budget Cuts video. You are right, Budget Cuts 2. I have played it at Gamescom. You do get a really quick sneak peek at like this bigger robot with like a red eye sort of thing, and he obviously just seeps evilness. And I'm just looking forward to that. Do you know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an excellent game. And that was the first game that I ever used the Vive wands, wherever it was.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the Vive ones, I don't like the Vive ones. They're just awful controllers.
I struggled. And it was quite a little bit embarrassing because, like, they're there, I'll play this, you know what I mean? I think I played it with I think I played it with an index with the knuckles, mate, with the wands. I don't remember. I know which headset it was. But I remember getting them and I was thinking, God, these are worse than I imagined. Like, they're bigger than I imagined as well.
They're big, bulky, and the whole trackpad thing, and it's like...
Yeah, it reminds me...
What?
It reminded me of, like, the Philips CDI thing. Where it was like a big...
That's strange, yeah.
There was a girl I used to walk to school with, and I loved playing games, obviously. And I said to her, have you got a computer games thing? While I waited for her to get dressed or whatever. And the Philips CDI thing come out, and I think that's when I played is it Dragon's Quest, the animated one?
Yeah.
So it was like an interactive TV show, but it was on a TV remote, and I was like,
yeah,
where's the gamepad? But everything was on the TV remote, and when I grabbed these wands, he was like, there's like a grip button on them, but it wasn't in the right place for me at all. It was kind of...
Everybody says the same thing with that, but they're old, they're done. We're moving on from them, I think.
Right, that's it then. South said we're moving on. So yeah, thank you ever so much for joining us today. Thank you to Lincoln Clay. Nice, man. Thank you to South Ketchup. And thank you to Nat for 7 Degrees of Gaming.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Excellent. And remember to, if you're looking for VR content, subscribe to these guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you especially for the donations. I really, really appreciate that. Everyone who's a patron and stuff, man, on the channel is absolutely fantastic. Or a channel member. Really appreciate that. Thank you for all the likes. This is another fantastic show today in terms of views. Like, you guys have come through and been here throughout. It's been amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, we've also missed some stuff which we will go over. So other points as well, you know.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? To
yeah, the XR2 chip, how that comes along, everything else like that, and so many things that everybody's done in chat.
Yeah. It's been honestly, you've been amazing. So thank you ever so much. You really make this show worth the effort, and worth our time. It's incredibly humbling for me and these guys to be here. It's excellent. What a community we have. So yeah, before I get a little bit teary because I'm tired, I get all emotional. Yeah, cool, excellent. Thank you ever so much, guys. Look after yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if you've got any left. I've got to go work in an hour. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be like, it's going to be hard. So yeah, look after yourselves.
Hey, everybody. Wakanda forever.